All right, so this evening we're going to be looking at the importance of travel health insurance. And why are we doing that? We see that people are traveling from time to time, and while they move from one location to another, they rarely think of that kind of policy that can guarantee protection for them. So my guest will be shedding light on that this beautiful evening. But before that, maybe I can just do a kind of a scenario on how these things will play out. You know, sometimes you might just be in a hurry to travel, and then you forget one or two things. You forget what is required in such a way that once the unforeseen happens, you now begin to panic, or perhaps you have to pay from your own pocket. So let me just give this scenario of a story involving Amaka, a young Nigerian student who had just secured admission for her master's degrees in Canada. Excited as she was, she booked her flight and paid for accommodation, but ignored travel insurance. Well, thinking that, she just didn't need anything like that. So she convinced herself that traveling is all that's required. By the time she gets there, everything will be settled. But just days before her departure, a family emergency forced her to cancel the trip. Sadly, her flight and travel bookings were more or less non-refundable. So that's the way it is sometimes. When you have this kind of quick bookings, sometimes you do not have any kind of refund. And I'm talking about 2 million naira gone, gone with the wind, so to say. Eventually, she rescheduled and arrived in Canada. But 2 weeks in, she actually had something that really, really was very unfortunate. It was something that she was not expecting. She slipped on an icy pavement and fractured her ankle. Now, the emergency treatment cost her about 7,500 Canadian dollars. You can imagine that, 7,500 Canadian dollars. Now, without travel insurance, Amaka had to use her own school fees to pay for the bills. Her academic registration was delayed, and then she faced months of financial struggle as a result of this. This is all because she ignored the value of travel insurance. That's the scenario that we're painting this evening. Let me bring in my guests who will be able to shed light on all of this. Oyerunke Adebayo is a sales manager with Aiko Insurance, and she's joining me in the studios this evening. Nice to have you back in the building. Oyerunke Adebayo, good evening.
Good evening, Victor.
And you're welcome back to Traffic Radio.
Thank you very much. Good evening, listeners at home as well.
All right, so you just listened to the scenario there of Amaka. So would her situation have been better or perhaps different if she had travel health insurance?
Absolutely, yes, of course. Had even Amaka has that travel insurance in place, she will not even have even face all the unforeseen expenses that she incurred.
Wow. So things would have been better for her if she did.
Exactly.
So what exactly is travel health insurance?
Yeah, let me just say this is just in a simple manner that everybody will understand.
Right.
It's just a travel health insurance is health insurance plan that provide comprehensive medical protection to travelers when they are outside their home country.
Okay.
Yes.
So once you are outside, if you travel out of Nigeria,
exactly.
Let's say from Nigeria to Benin or Nigeria to Sierra Leone, Gambia,
exactly,
or perhaps Europe or Canada, it's a travel health insurance that is required.
Exactly. Travel health insurance is required.
So what actually does it cover?
So when you're talking about travel health insurance, it basically covers this three major covers. That is emergency medical treatment, medical evacuation, and repatriation and other related benefits as well.
All right. Yes. I'm interested in those three. So for the purpose of clearer understanding, I need you to just explain what is emergency medical evacuation and repatriation. For those who are listening to us this evening, let them understand this.
So when you're talking about medical emergency expenses, so this emergency medical is what is being called at is unplanned medical expenses as a result of illness or injury while abroad.
Just like what happened to Amaka?
Exactly. So when we are talking about evacuation is also moving that sick or injured person from one place, that is from one hospital to another, in order for that person to access a better treatment.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And when you talk about repatriation, so that means that in case eventuality occurs at the end of the day, so if death occurs, so the cost of bringing the remains of the body of the insured back home to the country of residence or point of departure, so all this will be covered.
Wow.
That is what is called repatriation.
Okay. Yeah. So if the person dies while on that travel,
yes,
that means he'll be repatriated home. The remains will be repatriated home as a result of this insurance, right?
Exactly.
All right. So I need you to tell us some other benefits that comes with the travel health insurance.
Yes. We do not pray for injury or for sickness or for death. So even other than that, we still have a case whereby you're traveling even for loss of baggage. Even at the airport, it covers as well. For loss of baggage, it covers for missed or delayed departure. So like the case of Hamaka, I didn't being has that travel health insurance. So when the delay occurred, the travel health insurance will have covered
it.
Yes, as well. Trip cancellation as well. Dental and optical, their personal accident and liability, return of travel companion or children as well. So even apart from the evacuation of the remain of the insured, if the insured has a family that accompanies, so this travel health insurance is still an extension to cover the family or the children.
Wow, Ronkadiva, this is very comprehensive.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I'm learning a lot from this, and I'm sure our listeners are picking one or two things. So what that means is that if anything happens while you are there, this kind of insurance will cover you.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned that the basic purpose of travel health is to plan for emergency medical expenses. So do I still need to take this cover when traveling abroad if I already have a health insurance policy? Yes. Talk to me.
Yes, of course. Although they have the same name, travel health insurance, but one is for local health insurance. That is one you take with your HMO while in your country of your residence or while still in Nigeria. But whenever you travel abroad, be it African, any abroad, whenever you travel abroad, so that is where international travel health insurance will come to place.
Okay.
So that is the difference. Although they have the same, they have similar benefits.
Yes.
But while abroad, that is when you can access
this
travel health insurance that we talked about.
So it's quite different from the health insurance that we have here.
Exactly.
Okay.
You cannot access with your local health insurance.
Okay. All right. Yes. So those of you that like flying, the high flyers, you want to go to Dubai today, you want to go to France tomorrow, or perhaps next week you have a business in Los Angeles, another one in another month's time in Canada. Now you know that there's something that can cover you. A lot of times when you lose your baggage, or perhaps you have delayed flights and all that, what Ronke is saying this evening is that there is a particular plan that can cover you. She will talk to us about the cost very, very shortly. Yeah. But let's reflect a bit on the duration. Because a lot of times on this platform, we've talked about insurance policies, and usually it's normally like 1 year. So what is the duration for the travel health insurance?
Yeah, for the travel health insurance, we have the short duration as 3 days. It depends on your own duration of traveling. We have the short days as like 3 days, and we have the long as for 4 years. Wow. But we have there is validity of coverage that is 92 consecutive days. But apart from that, for AICO, you can still have a multi-trip. We have a multi-trip travelers or frequent travelers, so they can have one insurance certificate that will even cover them for as long as 4 years.
Wow.
Yes.
As long as 4 years?
As long as 4 years.
And they will enjoy all these benefits?
Exactly. But it must be 92 consecutive days of validity of coverage.
All right. Yeah. So what is the scope of coverage here for travel health insurance? What's the scope?
Okay. we're talking about scope of coverage. So that means we have the Schengen countries and worldwide plans. So every of the Schengen countries we have them like 29 countries.
Okay.
So those are the scope of coverage for Schengen countries.
All
and
right.
we're talking about Schengen countries. So Schengen countries, they are countries that they have officially abolished this passport and all other type of border control.
Okay.
But they have their mutual border together. So for Schengen countries, if you want to travel, you must have travel health insurance is compulsory.
It's compulsory.
Just like in Nigeria that we have compulsory insurance as well. So you need to have travel health insurance that is compulsory when you are going to any of those Schengen states. So, but every other one like Canada, that is for worldwide plans. So it may not be compulsory, but it is necessary. That is the case of Amaka.
All right. Yeah. So does travel health insurance have restrictions to the age of persons that can really be covered? Are there restrictions on age?
Yes. As far as ICO is concerned, we have the little age of like 3 months. 3 months old, and so the maximum age of 75 years.
Wow. So
yes.
3 months baby can be covered.
Exactly.
But not 2, not 1 month.
No, 3 months baby.
And anybody above 75 years will not be covered.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're looking at the significance of travel health insurance on the program this evening. And Oyirunke Adebayo is taking us to the classroom on how it all works. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, is it compulsory for me to take travel health insurance cover when traveling abroad? Runke will let us know something about that. We'll also be finding out when should I buy this kind of policy if I'm planning a trip. At what point should I contact ICO to get this? And if you want to ask any question, feel free to do so. When traveling, there are lots of things that could arise. A change in plan, a change in date. How will that be affected with this kind of insurance policy? All that and much more we'll be reflecting on, but a brief break, we'll be back.
Honestly, I am fed up of my street.
Hey, what's wrong now?
I think my street is jinxed. Over the weekend, my apartment was boggled and the criminals made away with valuables. They even took my son's toy treasure box.
Stable and reliable.
And just this morning, there was a huge fire incident in my neighbor's house and he lost everything. I mean everything.
Wow. Anyway, like I said before, stable and reliable.
What are you saying? Are you mocking me?
Papa, of course not. I just said
obtainable, portable, blah blah blah. I can rhyme too. It doesn't help my situation.
Okay, you remember I had similar experience last year, but thankfully I had signed up to a fire and burglary insurance plan with a stable and reliable partner, ICO Insurance.
Oh, now I get it now.
Yes.
But why didn't you tell me all this while now?
When the unexpected happens to your home appliances, ICO provides the insurance cover that makes you worry-less. Get the ICO Fire and Burglary Insurance Plan today. Call us on 0700 iContact. That is 0700 2442 668228 or visit www.icoplc.com to learn more. ICO Insurance, your stable friend. Yesterday, today, and always.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Of course, the program is Insurance on the Move. And I still have with me in the studios this evening, Oyirunke Adebayo, who is of ICO Insurance. And we're reflecting on travel health insurance. When was the last time you traveled? And she's letting us in on some of those things that we ignore when we travel. She says there's a whole lot of benefits that you can derive from it. Central Business District Corridor currently enjoying very good movement from Adeniji Ajele Road, proceeding through Oba's Palace and, of course, the police post. The earlier reported impediment at Chassis line obstructing the street there up to police post is now off the road. Normalcy restored, so it's very good. Ilubiri connecting Carter Bridge is moving at a fast pace at this hour, and then Idumota underneath the bridge. It was Johnny Enyeyos, also good. Let's hear from you. 08099 120777 09153877127. That's the number that you can connect with us this evening if you want to be part of this. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello. Yes, good evening.
All right, what's your name?
My name is Joseph.
Joseph?
Yes.
Are you a frequent traveler?
Within Nigeria, yes.
Okay, within Nigeria. You've not gone abroad?
Not yet.
Okay.
Open soon.
All right. You have a question for Runke Adebayo?
Yeah, that's what I want to find out. If this travel insurance, is it for all countries in the world or just specific countries?
Okay, all right. She will respond. Just listen then.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, travel health insurance, is it for all countries or we have some specific countries?
Yes, as I've explained earlier, that is for all countries. So the countries are just categorized into two. Like what I've explained before, we have Schengen countries, which is comprises of like 29 state destinations in Europe.
Yeah.
So that is where you can see like France, Germany, Italy. So those are Schengen countries and so on. But any other countries that are not part of the Schengen country, they are the country that I would call global destinations.
Okay.
So like Canada, like US, like Japan, and the rest. So
They're all covered. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Victor.
Yeah, good evening.
Comrade Daniel.
Yeah, Comrade Daniel, how you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Good too.
Good evening, Madam Runke.
Good evening, Daniel. Good evening to you.
All right. Yes, my travel insurance, I know, is a wonderful plan, but especially those who travel out of the country overseas on frequent basis.
All right.
We know that healthcare is quite expensive over there comparing with the exchange of the naira and the dollar and the pounds. So it is advisable to take it when you are traveling out of the country. My question to Madam Broker is that at the end of the day, if anything occurs, like any health issues within this country, if you had a multiple entry travel insurance, what are the procedures in terms of claims?
Okay.
In getting claims for payment?
Very good question.
Right.
Thank you
Yes,
so
thank you very
much.
much.
Thank you, Comrade Daniel.
All right.
So, what's the procedure there? If anything happens, if my teeth is paining me,
Okay.
or I'm having this ceaseless headache,
Okay.
so to say, how do
So,
I access the claims?
Okay, thank you very much. In fact, what I discussed with Victor this evening, we're having like
A session.
a section. So we're having like three
Okay.
sections that
We'll
is going
do
to be
that.
consecutive 3 weeks on this
Particular
product. So for next week, I'm going to dwell on this
claims.
claims administration. So,
Okay, very
but
good.
for the sake of this your question that you've asked, so we have procedures, but the first thing that you are going to do is that we have our contact details. Immediately you purchase our travel health insurance, on the certificate you will see all the contact numbers and contact details
Of all your partners?
Yes, of all our partners that you need to contact immediately, and they're 24/7.
Okay.
So emergency call.
All right then. 09153877127. Do I have a caller? Hello there. Okay. This one, is it compulsory? Is it compulsory for me to take a travel health insurance cover when traveling abroad?
Yes, of course. As we have discussed, in the case of Amaka, it may not, like the Schengen countries, like I've told you
Is
earlier,
compulsory.
is compulsory. But all other countries that are not under Schengen, it is very necessary for you to take
Okay.
travel health insurance.
It's not compulsory, but it's necessary.
It's necessary.
So if I'm going to the United States of America, it's necessary?
It's necessary.
All right. So when
Yes.
should I buy the policy if I am planning a trip abroad?
Yes, you can buy it as early as possible. So in the scenario of, in the case of Schengen countries, Schengen state, because it is compulsory, so it's part of the requirement for your visa application.
Oh.
So immediately you are preparing for your visa, you are processing your visa, so you need to get that travel health insurance to be part of your visa application. So, but the global, other global destinations, so as earlier as like 3 months to your departure, you can still purchase it. So to be on the safer side. But the only thing is that the day of departure is what is going to reflect on that on the
insurance
certificates.
Okay.
Yes.
So if there's a change in my itinerary, if I have to change my plans, my travel dates and all that, can I also effect that on my insurance certificate?
Yes, of course.
It's possible.
It's possible. So what we will need from you is just early notification. So if you're able to notify us before the commencement date, so you supply us the new date of traveling, so we are going to do the change of date for us before the commencement.
Okay, that's the way it works.
That's the way it works.
All right, 09153877127. Travel health insurance is our focus this evening, and I'm really, really learning a lot from Arunke. She's taking us to the classroom. A message here says, good evening, Traffic Radio and ICO PLC. Is mental health care covered under travel health insurance? Timitayo Timitayo sending this one in. Timitayo, thank you so much.
Okay.
Is it covered?
Yes. In as much as we have juicy benefits on this policy, as well, anything insurance we have what we call exclusions and exceptions as well.
That's
yes. True. So if you are talking about mental health, one of the that does not cover is pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
So if that mental health is a pre-existing condition, definitely travel insurance, not even ICO, is travel insurance will not cover it.
All right.
But if it is emergency, if it occurs while in the course of that journey, if it was discovered that it happened
while you are there,
so definitely it's going to cover because it's part of medical condition.
All right, this one says, good evening, Traffic Radio. Can I extend my insurance if I end up staying longer than planned? You didn't put your name, but thank you. So is that possible?
Okay. So if you stayed longer,
let's assume that I took a policy for 3 weeks. I'm going to be there for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And something happens, I have to extend my stay.
Yes.
Can the insurance policy be extended?
Yes, there is extension of cover. You can do that.
Okay.
So the thing is that you may not change the date as I've previously explained.
Right.
But if there's extension of cover, like the scenario you made now, it was possible.
All right.
Yeah.
This one says, good evening, Victor. What if I buy travel health insurance and end up not using it? Do I get a refund?
Okay, yeah, this is somewhat tricky anyway. Well, let me just say this scenario.
David sent this one in. David Alabi.
So it's in two ways. If you buy the travel health insurance and maybe at that particular time you might have a change of plan or change of trip, or maybe the trip has been rescheduled. So like what I've explained, you just notify us before the commencement date on that certificate. So we may just put it on hold for a period of 1 month. We will do that. We put it on hold for a period of 1 month until you have another date whereby you want to travel.
Okay, but once you've traveled, you've made use of it, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, then, Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. Lots to really chew as relates to this particular insurance policy. But peradventure, I did not inform you, I'm talking about ICO now, of the change in my travel date prior to commencement of the initial date supplied. What can be done to accommodate the new travel date? Do you have anything that can be done?
Okay, it's in two ways. If you do not inform us and the travel date has commenced and started, so if you do not inform us, for us, with that, there is little or nothing that we could do because it has commenced.
Okay.
But like the scenario that we've made, that even though it has commenced and you informed us, so we can just do extension of cover on that policy.
Right.
So, but we will not cancel it outrightly.
Okay, then. There's a lot to cover that relates to travel health insurance, and I can tell you we're going to have a part 2 of this, and Ronke will be here to talk us through and let us know on how we can really travel and ensure that we are well protected. But as a round of this evening, Ronke, how can people buy this travel health insurance? Those who are listening and they're interested, what should they do? They want to get it. Do I have a call? Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have various channels in ICO. If you want to buy travel health insurance, we have various channels. So you can come to any of our offices or branches in Lagos or nationwide, and you can still meet us. You can still go to our website www.icoplc.com.
All right.
Yes, you can come to our website, and we still have a contact whereby you can still contact us on the iContact 0700 iContact.
All right.
So and or 0700 244 266 8228.
All right. We'll leave it at that for now.
Or visit any ICO.
I'll be expecting you next evening.
All right.
And next week Thursday. Yes. And then we can be able to talk much more about this travel health insurance. No, thank you so much for making it through to the studios.
Thank you, Victor.
Okay. She's Oyeronke Adebayo of ICO Insurance PLC. And this evening, we have reflected on travel health insurance. Please go out there. If you know you're traveling, try and book a travel health insurance policy so that you can be guaranteed of all of this. Next week, we expand the scope on this particular insurance cover. But we have to go. The program has been produced by Akan Hussein. Maximum shout out going out to Definite Media Concept for putting all of this together. Till next Thursday by 6:30 p.m. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a splendid evening. Bye.
There's a friend who'll be there through the sun, through the rain, and a friend you can trust all the way, every day. Live your life, we've got your back, and so I will take you there all the way, every day. Yeah, stability assured.
ICO Insurance, your stable friend, yesterday, today, and always.